Today I have a very weird build that you probably be like, what is this weird contraction he got going on here? But it actually works beautifully, and you can take it into negative 50 freaking GM. Like, actually pretty insane. This is definitely one of them I was thinking outside the box type of builds, and came up with this amalgamation of a thing. Okay, but trust me, stay with me throughout this journey, and I promise you, you will enjoy this build nonetheless. Okay, so the exotic we are using for this build is Axiom War Rig. Okay, Axiom War Rig make it that it steadily reloads your auto rifle or machine gun magazine from reserve, so you never have to reload with it while you're shooting with it. And then final blows with auto rifles or machine guns boost the stability, ammo generation. Ammo generation is like plus 50, and damage. Provides a moderate airborne effectiveness. So this automatically gonna reload your gun, so you never have to reload a machine gun or auto rifle, and it's gonna boost your damage. Now the damage buff is not a lot. I'll put it on the screen. The damage buff is not a lot. You're mostly using it for the getting around the hole, not having to reload. That's the main thing. But we're gonna take the extra damage because we can. Okay. The stats you want to go for in this build is 200 weapon stat, if possible, at least 170. And then after that, you want to go 100 class, 100 super. That's all you want for this build. Armor set. I don't have an armor set bonus in this build besides the crystal freaking 2-piece. You don't need this. If I had to recommend an armor set, just pick any armor set that gives you free damage resistance. So X is down, Salvation's Edge, Nezarec Sin armor would be perfect for this build. The 4-piece Nezarec Sin raid armor set, because you get DR for having Devour on. Yeah, anything that gives you free DR on 24/7. Now, weapons are very important here. We are using Final Warning. Final Warning is being used as a utility weapon here. It is purely here to add unraveling to the enemies. I wish there were legendary weapons out there that can trigger unraveling on enemies, but there isn't. The only thing we got is Severed. Okay, so we got Final Warning here to proc unraveling on enemies so that the enemies always have a darkness debuff on them. Energy weapon can be your special weapon can be whatever you want it to be. Energy weapon, special weapon, whatever you want it to be. I chose a solar special weapon for damage. And then the main star of this build is Unwavering Duty, solar machine gun from Trials. Now, do not click off the video if you like, I don't have that machine gun. You can pick any solar machine gun that has Rampage on it, because Rampage is better than Killing Tally because it stays on forever. Well, easier now, whatnot, and it's a higher damage buff. So as long as you get a solar machine gun that has Rampage on it, you're good to go. But Unwavering Duty is the only machine gun that can roll with Rampage and Killing Tally together. This is the highest DPS machine gun in this build for what we're going for here. So if you are someone that does have this, you finna eat like crazy. Okay, if you don't have this, don't worry, your weapon just gonna have 30% less damage than everybody else, but it will still get the job done. Okay, and then you want to make sure you put on synergy and the synergy mod, weapon mod on this weapon. This is very important. Okay, we don't get to it. This is very important. Make sure you have synergy on this machine gun. Artifact. We are using Elemental Overdrive. This is why you want synergy on the machine gun. Picking up an Elemental Pickup or Tangle grants increased damage to weapons of the same element type. This gives you a free 22% weapon damage to your weapon, and this does stack with every other buff in the game, including your surges and your leg piece. So the machine gun with synergy weapon mod on it gonna be creating a solar freaking fire sprite for us. So whenever we pick up a fire sprite, the machine gun gonna be doing 22% more damage. We got on the horror shuttle in this build because damaging unraveled enemies, aka Final Warnings unraveling them, will make threatlings, and then the threatlings will sever enemies, making them have a darkness debuff on them and do less damage to us. And we want all enemies to always have a darkness debuff on them. And unraveling is the best way to spread a darkness debuff on every enemy for free. And then the threatlings is just a bonus to sever everything, make them do less damage and just extra damage in general for ad control. We got on elemental coalescence. This would make a elemental pickup for us for free, which would be a void a void thing out there, and that's gives some more class ability energy, so we can put our rally barricade out there as much as possible. If you feel like the uptime of your rally barricade is already enough, you can replace this with pack tactics if you want the threadless to do more damage, but I don't recommend it. I feel like elemental coalescence is good for you getting your devour proc whenever you want for health, and again for your rally barricade. Elemental days, so whenever we stun a champion, they do an explosion based off whatever element we stunned them with. Solar weapon would be ignitions, obviously. Yeah. We got on Color of Darkness. This is the main contender show in this build as well. Because this makes it that we do 75% more damage with solar weapons as long as the enemy have a darkness debuff on them. Besides the boss, every enemy you shoot that's unraveled or severed will be taking 75% more damage from the machine gun on top of the Action Warwick buff, the Rampage buff, which is 33%, the Killing Tally buff, which is another 30%. Then you got the Elemental Overdrive, you got a Fire Sprite, that's 22%. And then you got the Solar Surge in your lead piece, which is going to be an extra 17%. It's ridiculous. And then an extra 20% because we will have Radiant in this build from Fever and Chill. As long as we're getting rapid precision hits, we will, with a solar weapon, we will get Radiant in this build. So, boom, extra 20% more damage. Y'all just listen to all the stuff I just named for the extra damage in this build. The machine gun is eating, as y'all seen with the beginning gameplay clip as well. Then we got Refresh Thread, so whenever we pick up an elemental pickup, we'll get energy for our least charged ability. In this sense, it will most likely be the class ability, but you will be throwing your melee for a Void Over Shield as well for survivability in this build. And then you could throw your grenade to blind people. We'll get there. Subclass. We're rocking Water Dawn, Bubble. This even more weapon damage because while you're inside Water Dawn, you get increased weapon damage. You get Weapon of Light. I forgot the buff for Weapon of Light. I think it's 15%, I believe. Or is it 25%? Something like that. For having Weapon of Light on. And then you will do more damage to enemies that's inside the bubble because they immediately get weakened. So they get a 15% weakening on them, make you do 15% more damage to them with the machine gun. Again, ridiculous. Then we have Rally Barricade on to make us reload the machine gun more. We're going to camp behind this Rally Barricade so the enemy shoot the barricade instead of us while we rain down destruction on them. You want to be able to spam this Rally Barricade and camp behind it with your machine gun because we don't really have crazy constant healing in this build. Constant DR in this build because the moment our Void Overshield goes off, we have no DR going on. So the Rally Barricade gonna be like the safety measure of us always camping behind it, getting that Void Overshield from aspect, but also too, enemies shooting at the barricade itself. Got shield throw on, so we always throw the shield at somebody and get a Void Overshield immediately for that 70% damage reduction and some health with that. Suppressor grenades, so we can blind enemies whenever we want, and then we can shoot them while they're blind. But dealer's choice on whatever grenade you want to pick. We have Von Bastion, very important here, because now while we camping behind our barricade, shooting the enemies for free skis, we'll get a Void Overshield constantly regenerating on us. But if enemies shoot at us while we're getting that Overshield, then the Overshield not going to be on. That's why I said Rally Barricade is very important here nonetheless. But camp behind your barricade, have a Void Overshield, so you don't die and prosper. And then we got Controlled Demolition. So if you do throw your suppressor grenade or your Void Overshield, your Cinder Shield at somebody, they'll get volatile on them. And then if you blow a volatile explosion up on an enemy and they're near you, like let's say inside the bubbles, for example, you get a chunk of health. This aspect right here is not a necessity. You could take this aspect off and put on like Offensive Bulwark if you want to get some grenade and melee energy for the free skis. Whenever you're behind a barricade and you kill enemies, you can go Offensive Bulwark. Or if you're someone that loves Unbreakable, which is another free way to get a Void Overshield, blind enemies, and get devoured, you can use that. So, Controlled Demolition is not a necessity. As a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, while we're here, now I'm thinking about it, we can just go to Offensive Bulwark and just get that free grenade and melee energy. Okay. Fragments. We got on Echo or Vigilance, so we are finna die at red health. Immediately when we kill somebody, we get a Void Overshield on. So get out your free card. We have on Echo or Harvest. So whenever we kill a weakened enemy, it'll make a or we got on Echo Persistence so that the Void Overshield and Devour stay on even longer. We have on Echo Starvation so that no pick up Void Breach or Orb Power, we get Devour. Again, we're making Void Breaches because of Artifact, getting kills, making Void Breach, and then also too making Orb Power from the machine gun kills. And then we just got on Echo Dilation, just get that free +10 weapon and super stat. Armor mods. We have on 2 heavy ammo finders, so we always have heavy ammo on us because we will be using the machine gun like a primary. I never ever ran out of ammo for my machine gun, so that should just tell you how good this build is. That could be a part of the 2-piece armor set I got on, but I doubt it. We are rocking basically 200 weapon stat and then heavy ammo finders. We got on Solar Siphon, so we make Orb Power from the machine gun kills, so we get Devour proc. Then every time we kill somebody, we get a full chunk of health back. Top that with Void Overshield, and you should be able to stay alive pretty good in hard in content if you maneuver right behind your barricade and whatnot. We got on melee fonts, just get our melee higher so we can throw the Cinder Shield to get a Void Overshield for free. Focusing strikes, when we do that, we get class ability energy back. Resist mods and chest piece. 2 solar weapon surges for that 17% I was talking about for the machine gun. Solar scavengers, when we pick up a heavy ammo brick, we get bonus ammo on top of the extra ammo we're gonna be getting from having damn near 200 weapon stat. We got on Reaper, so when I kill an enemy, make Orb Power from putting out barricade. Class font on to get that extra +20 class stat. And then we got special finisher on, so if you are someone that's running like a solar special weapon, you can make it whenever you want. But also too, if you're someone running this Exodus down set, like I said, I recommend using an army set that give you some free damage resistance. You can pop it. You can proc it with special finisher. That's the full build. Again, this was an accident build, but it works so good. It works so good. And I highly recommend if you're someone that does have this Trials machine gun, or even if you don't, just get you a solar machine gun with Rampage on it and have a ball. This build is insane. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys as always. And until next time, stay up.